My name is Father Ben Cameron. I joined the Fathers of Mercy in August of 1992. I have served as a priest in the order since 1997. Before I entered religious life, I was a student at Christendom College where I studied political science and history with the idea of preparing for a career in politics. God obviously had a different plan than that. I also worked construction quite a bit and did a year of full-time lay apostolate as a volunteer in the church. I first felt the call to the priesthood when I was 13 years old at my confirmation, when I mysteriously took the name of Melchizedek as my confirmation name, a little hint of my future vocation as a priest. But I resisted the call for a long time, and I first really heard it and started listening in '91. I was in Dawson City, Yukon, and a OMI missionary priest asked me after Mass when I was going to go in the seminary, and I didn't have an answer. And he told me that I better start thinking about it because God's not going to knock me off a horse. So I started really praying about the priesthood at that point. What attracted me to the Fathers of Mercy, first of all, I was attracted to religious life because Pope St. John Paul II had given a Wednesday audience talking about how the three vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience directly contradict the false values of the world of money, sex, and power. And that really spoke to me. And so I looked only at religious life. I did not look at diocesan priesthood. But then when I started looking at religious orders, I was attracted to the Fathers of Mercy by three things: by our Marian devotion, by our emphasis on the mercy of God, and by the idea of being a missionary preacher. But the idea of parish missions and being a traveling itinerant evangelist, missionary, bringing people to the mercy of God really spoke to me and attracted me. What do I love most about my religious priesthood? I love offering Mass. I love especially singing the Mass with my people in my parish that I'm currently assigned to. But I love being a missionary. I love traveling and preaching. I've had the honor of being a missionary preacher for over 20 years now, and bringing the truth of the gospel of Jesus and the mercy of God to the people. I love being the instrument of God's mercy in the sacrament of confession. It's the most powerful thing for me to sit and to witness God's infinite mercy and God reaching in to people who had no hope, people who felt completely lost, and Him pulling them out. And I'm just a witness and an instrument of His merciful love. So if you are discerning a vocation to the priesthood or to religious life, I'm sure many of my brother priests have said, and I would agree with them, prayer. You've got to pray. But I would say one word: courage. It's very easy to go down the commonly traveled path, to go down the easiest path, the way of least resistance. What Christ calls us to is to courageously follow Him wherever He leads us. And some of you may be watching this, may be called to religious life. Some of you may be called to the priesthood. Some of you may be called to both priesthood and religious life. Some of you may be called particularly to our charism of being a missionary, bringing the mercy of God to all of His prodigal sons and daughters. Have courage. The Lord's plan for you is far better than anything you're going to come up with, that you're going to find. And He is going to help you to find the place where you're going to have the most happiness and the most peace and joy. God bless you.